If you've ever found yourself scrolling through social media for hours during your recovery, you're not alone. It took me quitting social media during my healing journey to realize just how much it had been taking from me. Now, I don't want you to make the same mistake that I did, so grab a drink and let's talk about how social media might be harming your recovery and what you can do about it. So social media gives us constant exposure to carefully curated versions of other people's lives. And so if you're someone who has a tendency to push themselves beyond healthy limits, you might find yourself comparing your progress or success in life to what you see on social media. And it's this comparison that can create a cycle of putting unreal expectations on ourselves. And this can be really harmful during the recovery process because not only does it take our focus away from our personal growth and healing, but it can lead us to feel emotions like frustration, self-doubt, and this pressure to change things or do more. And we can become stuck in these emotions and it can lead to an increase in stress. So in my personal journey, as I scrolled through social media, I'd always stumble upon a post from someone who seemed to have it all figured out. They seemed to have the energy to do things I didn't, and their content filled me with a mix of inspiration but also inadequacy. So comparing their life to my own ongoing struggles with recovery, I couldn't help but feel like I was falling short. I felt like I was a loser, and this feeling only added to my frustration and self-doubt. So the next time you see someone's recovery story and you feel crap about yourself, remember, and I know everyone says this, but they only share the highlight reel, not the messy day. So when we compare our lives with the internet, of course we're going to come up short. And at times when we need less pressure, not more, it's not helping your recovery to be engaging with stuff that makes you feel like a failure at life or feel like you should be doing more to succeed when you're dealing with the big challenge like trying to recover from a chronic illness. During this time, when we need to be getting closer to ourselves, more self-kindness and less judgment, and unfortunately, that is difficult to cultivate when you feel you should be doing more in your life. To help you start building a healthier relationship with social media, I've created a handy little guide to help you use social media in an empowered way. There is a link in the description. Go and check it out if you like. So we've already talked about the impact of seeing the filtered version of other people's recoveries in their lives. But let's talk about the drama that fuels social media. It's becoming more and more about competing for eyeballs. And because of that, content is getting more and more polarizing, and it's designed to heighten emotion, takes us down never-ending rabbit holes. And in my recovery, I was heavily into political content, and I would watch videos that would make me feel angry, fearful, sad, but also powerless to do anything. So a lot of strong emotions. And from time to time, I get clients who have spent a lot of their time online watching polarizing content and getting into debates and arguments in comment sections without really understanding how the strong emotions they're seeking out and triggering on a regular basis are hampering their recovery. It's because these emotions activate our sympathetic nervous system. And so it can surprise people how much of a difference disengaging and curating their content to stuff that makes them feel uplifted can really make a difference to their health. So in your recovery journey, the goal needs to be on acknowledging and processing low vibration emotions to create space for higher vibration ones. So we're talking about those emotions that activate your parasympathetic nervous system, so you spend more time in a relaxed state. And by spending your spare time watching content that pulls you into lower vibration emotions, you're harming your recovery. I've been there, so what worked for me really was choosing to no longer engage with the political content I was watching, and choosing instead to spend most of my time offline on things that uplifted and helped me. But things that make you laugh, things that inspire you, things that help you relax, those are the types of things that you should be seeking out in your online journey. I would guess you're watching this video because you're looking for solutions to your health issues. Research was one of the biggest reasons I got onto social media in the first place, and as someone who tried just about everything, social media offered me a lot of information on what I could do to empower myself in my recovery. But the problem that I encountered was just a flood of conflicting information and an overwhelming volume of different things that I could be doing on a day-to-day basis. And I can remember as clear as day the rush of adrenaline and excitement I would experience when I'd found out about a new thing I could do. It was just a roller coaster of hope and letdown, with the added financial burden of investing in products and treatments that don't really deliver as promised. So navigating through this maze of information and misinformation can be really exhausting, stressful and disheartening, especially when you're already dealing with the challenges of recovery. Unfortunately, this doubt and uncertainty that social media can instill in us about what we're doing and what we're not doing not only can lead to feelings of overwhelm, but serves as a distraction from really our true path to healing and growth. Because most of what you need to do is build a pattern of boring repetition of the same techniques over and over. So I'm talking about, for example, learning to acknowledge and process your emotions. That's a skill that you build over time. So there's no point switching techniques. Instead, the point is to learn and master a way of doing it that works for you. So it's really crucial to filter out the noise and focus on what truly empowers and supports your recovery journey. And there's definitely more than one way to recover, and it comes down to what resonates with you, and the energy that you come to the search with really determines whether you find something that's a distraction or something useful to you. So when I stopped researching on social media, the things that would help me heal actually found me. And because I wasn't in the desperation of the search, I was able to examine options with a clearer head. I was able to work out if it was something that I felt I could do, and I also understood why it would help me to build the skills necessary to get these things to work for me. And as I reflect on my own experience, I realized that my social media usage was a reflection of my mindset during my illness. When I was deeply engrossed in the health concerns, overwhelmed with fear, uncertain or not invested in what I was doing, and seeking validation from other people, I found myself spending endless hours in forums and groups and reading and watching post after post. And I didn't know that this behavior was keeping me stuck in that cycle of fear and uncertainty. So the people I surrounded myself with online were also struggling. They were also feeling that fear and pressure, and that just added to my own fears and doubts. And I vividly remember witnessing individuals being criticized and bombarded with fear-based reactions when they sought advice on a particular supplement. And it was at that particular moment that I knew I had to distance myself from this, after really seeing the impact that it was having on me. Where and how we spend our time on social media really significantly impacts our mental state. And it can either leave us feeling overwhelmed, inadequate and stuck, or empower us to move forward with confidence. And it has a profound influence on our belief in the possibility of our recovery. So while some groups can provide us with inspiration, others can perpetuate that feeling of being trapped in sort of that unending cycle of illness. So the truth is, the more we focus on our health and recovery to the exclusion of living our lives, the more we can hinder our progress. So really, it's essential to strike a balance and not let social media become a barrier to our well-being and recovery. So I've talked a lot about how social media can harm your recovery, but what do you need to do instead? If you've watched this video and resonate with some of the points I've made, then really you've got a number of options you can take to start to cultivate a healthier relationship. I've seen clients completely abstain, using app blockers on their phones, others starting to question and curate what they see on their feeds and completely changing the content, I personally found switching my phone off, and I use an app like Lock Me Out as a great way of just limiting my general screen time. The other thing to remember is our body is really the best compass for us. What is going on in your body is the best sign that something is a help or a hindrance to you on social media. So when you're looking at a post, do you feel any tension or tightness in your body? Do you feel foggy or low energy? What emotions come up for you? Do you feel a drive to do something desperately? And ask yourself, are these the emotions you want to have, ones that relax your body, or are they low vibration emotions, things like overwhelm, desperation, fear, frustration, or shame? And these emotions are normal, but we don't want to be triggering them with things like social media. The other question to ask yourself is the content just focused on health and nothing else? And am I completely shutting my life down? Social media added to my sense of overwhelm during my recovery. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, then watch this video next as I share a powerful tool that helped me move from overwhelm into calm.